Good day everyone. Today we would like to present about the key insights of Presentatio Aluminum Holdings Berhad. The first is about company's Presentatio Aluminum is a leading low-post smelter in Malaysia and the Asian region. The company is capitalizing on the growing demand for low-carbon aluminum driven by the expansion of electric vehicles (EVs) and renewable energy. Its hydro-powered operations help lower production costs, providing a competitive advantage. With these factors in play, Presentatio is poised for strong profit potential in the coming years.
I'm proud of the company that will be announced as the Company of the Year tonight, as it joins others like QL Resources, Genting Berhad, DG, Dutch Lady, Tenaga, Nestle, Air and Petronas Dagangan. A company I've personally known for decades. It took on huge risks, borrowed massively, and utilized the natural assets in Malaysia, combining with the low-cost technology from China to now become the largest player in the industry in Southeast Asia.
I'll be presenting about business description. Presentatio is actually the largest integrated aluminium producer in Malaysia. It supplies to many sectors such as construction, automotive, packaging, electrical, and renewable energy. The company exports to more than 20 countries and is listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia. Some of its main shareholders include the Kun family, Halfa Milestone Sanjan Berhad, and institutional investor. Presentatio is known for being environmentally efficient and puts a strong focus on ESG and sustainability because aluminium production uses a lot of energy. Next, financial key highlights. As of the financial year 2024, Presentatio recorded revenue of around 14.91 billion ringgit Malaysia, coming from both export and local markets. From 2021 to 2024, its revenue grew at a CAGR of about 10.69%, showing that the company has been able to keep growing even with the ups and downs in commodity price. Overall, Presentatio has a strong position in the industry, focuses on sustainability and continues to perform well financially.
And I'll be explaining about the key catalyst part. One of Presentatio's biggest short-term strengths is the full operation of Sama Laju Phase 3 smelter in Sarawak. This expansion has boosted production capacity and efficiency, allowing the company to meet higher aluminium demands, especially from construction and automotive sectors. For example, with global infrastructure spending increasing post-pandemic, Presentatio can supply more aluminium locally and internationally, giving it a strong revenue advantage. Secondly, as Malaysia's largest aluminium producer, Presentatio enjoys strong brand credibility and operational expertise. This helps the company maintain consistent quality output even during volatile market conditions. However, there are some short-term weaknesses. Presentatio still depends heavily on imported raw materials, particularly alumina and carbon anodes, which exposes it to cost fluctuation. For instance, when global freight costs or raw material prices increased in 2023 due to geopolitical tensions, Presentatio's profit margin was affected. The company also earns a large portion of revenue from exports, meaning foreign exchange risk can impact short-term earnings when the Malaysian ringgit fluctuates against the US dollar. In terms of opportunities, the recovery of global aluminium prices in 2024 and 2025 has significantly increased Presentatio's short-term profitability. Demand from EV manufacturing, constructions, and packaging industries is also rebounding, especially from countries like China and Southeast Asia. Additionally, government support for Malaysia's industrial and export sectors, such as tax incentives for energy-efficient industries, further boost Presentatio's near-term growth potential. Threats, the most notable point is the commodity price volatility, where aluminium prices can fluctuate based on global supply-demand trends or energy costs. For example, when energy price surged in late 2022, many smelters globally faced production cuts. Rising energy costs can directly impact Presentatio's production expenses since smelting is high power intensive. In addition, competition from lower-cost regional producers, especially in China, could put pressure on pricing and market shares. Let's view the long-term catalyst. In the long run, Presentatio's vertical integration is its biggest strength. The company controls multiple stages of aluminium value chain from smelting to extrusion and trading, giving it cost control and stability. For example, by owning both upstream and downstream operation, Presentatio reduces dependency on external suppliers and captures more value along the chain. Another long-term strength is its commitment to ESG and renewable energy. Most of its smelters in Sarawak are powered by hydropower, helping the company produce low-carbon aluminium. This aligns with global sustainability trends and positions Presentatio as a green aluminium leader in Malaysia. On the downside, weaknesses. The aluminium industry is capital intensive and maintaining smelting plants requires high investment. Presentatio also faces a limited domestic market where Malaysia's aluminium consumption is relatively small, so the company relies heavily on exports. Furthermore, to stay competitive globally, it must continue investing in advanced smelting technologies to improve efficiency and reduce emissions. Now, looking ahead, there are strong long-term opportunities. The global demand for green and sustainable aluminium is rising rapidly, driven by industries like EV, renewable energy, and constructions. For instance, EV makers such as Tesla and BYD are shifting to lightweight, sustainable materials by creating new markets for eco-friendly aluminium. Pressed metals aligned with Malaysia's green industrial transformation policies also supports expansion and innovation over the next decades. However, pressed metal must navigate several long-term threats. A global economic slowdown or trade tension can reduce export demand, especially from major markets like China and the US. In addition, tightening carbon emission regulation may increase compliance costs if standards become stricter. Lastly, price volatility in the global aluminium market remains a long-term challenge that could affect earnings stability.
Now let's go into industry analysis to understand more about the company and to know the company's position in the value chain. So Pressed Metal primarily focuses on smelting and casting aluminium. And for vertical integration, they are focusing on expanding downstream activities such as extrusion and rolling. Pressed Metal holds the largest aluminium smelter in the entire of Southeast Asia, which gives them the dominance in that region in particular. Next up and lastly is the national market share. Pressed Metal is the largest producer in Malaysia which produces aluminium, and they account for the majority of the country's primary aluminium output in export in the year of 2024 itself. For competitive advantage and landscape, Pressed Metal's key advantage is their very own low-cost hydropower, and it is located in Sarawak. It has a very large-scale smelting operation going on there, which leverages access to cheap hydropower, and it is providing a critical cost advantage over their competitors, who are PMB Technology as their local rivals, and China, Hongtie, Alcoa, and LB Aluminium as their global rivals. Pressed Metal's outlook in the upcoming years looks positive and good due to the growing demand for aluminium in the green industry. As the globe is moving towards green energy and green industry right now, the demand for aluminium is expected to be robust in certain sectors which are vital for modernization and energy transition. First and foremost is the automobile industry. As people are moving towards EV cars, aluminium's lightweight properties are crucial for improving EV's battery range and efficiency. Next are for renewable energy. As people are planting more solar panels in their house to go green, aluminium is needed much in that process and in the infrastructure of solar panels and wind turbines. Lastly is the new growth areas such as the new emerging sectors like AI and data centers are also expected to have a high demand for aluminium due to aluminium's property in its heat dispersion, as their cooling property and not magnetic properties would help in data centers.
Let's look at comparable company analysis. There are two companies that are competitive to Pressed Metal Aluminium Holding Berhad, which is LB Aluminium Berhad and PA Resources Berhad. First one, LB Aluminium Berhad is a major Malaysian producer of aluminium extrusion for the building and industrial sectors. The second one, PA Resources Berhad, is a local company that makes extrudes aluminium and is growing its market around the world. If we look at scale comparison, the Pressed Metal Aluminium Holdings is much bigger than the others because it makes more than 1 million tons of metal a year and does business in other countries, while the others mostly serve the home country only. We look at financial performance of three companies. The first one, the company we chose, that is Pressed Metal Aluminium Holding, made about 15.3 billion in sales and 1.18 billion in net profit in FY 2024. The competitive company, which is LB Aluminium, made about 955 million in sales and 24 million in net profit, while PA Resources said it made about 550 million in sales and 40 million in net profit. So if we look at insights into the competition, Pressed Metal benefits from being co-effective, having a lot of export demand and being vertically integrated. However, it is more sensitive to changes in the prices of aluminium around the world and energy cost. Next, we look at profitability and valuation. The fact that Pressed Metal has a higher PE ratio, about 25 times, shows that the investors are hopeful about its growth. The smaller companies are worth less because they are less exposed to the market and smaller. If we look at competitive insights, the Pressed Metal benefits from being cost-effective, having strong export demand and being vertically integrated. However, it is more vulnerable to changes in the price of aluminium around the world and energy costs. PA Resources and LB Aluminium are less exposed globally, but they have less room for growth.
Next is about risk. Lower aluminium prices lead to reduced revenue and tighter profit. Margins for Pressed Metal rising, energy rates or supply disruptions, increased production costs and negativity impact profitability. The company's expenses are in Chinese yuan and Malaysian ringgit, while its earnings are in US dollars, making it vulnerable to exchange rate fluctuations that can affect earnings stability.
Based on our group's model, we applied the historical compound annual growth rate of 10.69% from 2021 to 2024 to forecast future revenue. As you can see in the Excel shown, total revenue is expected to increase steadily from Rm 14.91 billion in 2024 and to 16.50 billion in 2025, and they reach about Rm 20.22 billion by 2027. This growth reflects the full production capacity of Samalaju Phase 3 smelter and continuous export demand, particularly from the automotive and renewable energy sector. Income is projected to rise from 1.77 billion in 2024 to 2.39 billion by 2027. The company's gross profit margin is expected to stay around 19% and the net margin around 12%, suggesting stable cost control and pricing power. This projection assumes that Presemetal maintains its operational efficiency and benefits from renewable energy used in its smelting process, which helps lower energy costs compared to competitors relying on coal power. Additionally, increasing demand for green aluminium, especially for electric vehicles and solar panel structures, provides a strong demand base for the next few years. To sum up, Presemetal's financial outlook is positive with consistent revenue growth and improving profitability.
Thank you so much. That's all from us. Thank you so much. That's all from us.